This is what I come out to see here.
Oh,
So
yeah. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Team DJ. Oh yeah,
I don't know if they're supposed to be outside. So that's, yeah, we don't need quite so many butt cheeks. Oh my lord. Alright, it is now October. So right here next to the beer fridge is the heating device for the building. So this is the time of year where we gotta... why isn't this thing focusing? Focus? Focus? I don't know how you get this thing to focus. Huh. Maybe it's my eyeballs are fuzzy. Who cares? Who knows? So, we have to do, this is a propane water heater. Got some excess materials around here. So it's a little chunky in there. You can see down in there. So what we'll have to do is get turn this knob to pilot. So this little dealie here, so a little notch right there, lines up with the little pilot notch, and that'll allow us to push this thing. Well, I think it'll allow it to push this thing down. Here we go. Oh, turn it till that thing. There we go. So now I can push that down. Okay. So now the tricky part. See if I can do this with setting this on the chair here. You guys will be able to see anything. We'll find out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up holding down the pilot button. And you got to kind of look down in there, which you guys won't be able to see real well. But hold the button down. See if oh, there we go. So we can kind of see. I don't know if you guys can see any of that. Let's move you in a little bit closer. So I got that. It's right next to the little thermocouple dealie. So that flame looks pretty measly right now. I'm guessing since I haven't had this running at all over the summer, might need a little bit of I don't know, purging of the system maybe. So you want to make sure the flame is big enough that that little thermocouple that's on this side is warm, because that'll turn off the gas. So what you want to do is, I'm still holding down this button. What you want to do then is turn that big knob to on while you let this off as fast as you can with your thumb and turn that to on to get a big flame going. So let's see what I can do here without having it blow out. There you go. So now this should be on. I don't know why it's, I don't know if we got the full, it looks a little more orange than I'd like. May have to adjust some of the pipes here. May have to adjust this little, what you call it, damper thing here. But I'll give it a little bit of time before I do anything there. So let's close this little door up. Yeah, that's part of it there. Maybe I was just getting too much air from that. And then put this dealie back on. So what this system is we've got the propane water heater here, and that's plumbed with this circulating pump that's turned on by this, which converts the, I think it's like 12 volt, whatever's going to my thermostat. It's pretty much just the 120 volt switch. So that turns this pump on when it calls for water. I don't think the what you call it up there's working. It's an old thermometer pressure. I don't think that's right. And then this whole setup here, pressure tank, and then there's a air remover or air, I don't know, takes the bubbles out. That little brass thing on top lets some more pressure out of the system, or air out of the system. So I've replaced this once before. It always tends to leak. So right now this water bottle I put on the end of here, so what I'll probably end up doing is, see if I can show you guys that, but normally I'll go up here, Let's see if I can set this up so you guys can see. Normally I'll go up here and then unscrew this brass thing. Might be air in there right now. We'll see. Once it heats up, there'll be more air in there, so I have to do this when it's cold yet. So I unscrew this. You can hear a little bit of air coming out of there. And I try to get my overflow bottle here. Oop, see if this works. Yeah, pass glue ribbon. Yeah, see? Huh? And if I can get this to work out properly, I try to dump this back in. Normally I spill most of it all over the floor, or all over everything. What happens is if the water gets too low in the system, it doesn't get up and over this loop here. If it doesn't get up and over, it doesn't heat, doesn't pump through the floor, and then it doesn't heat the building. So usually the first time of the year, at least the first time of the year, I've got to do this. And this system wasn't even really used over the summer, and I know I had emptied this overflow bottle, so I don't know why that overflow is leaking. Or overflow or pressure relief, I guess it is, because it wasn't running, so there was no pressure in there over the summer. So this is pretty stimulating YouTube video watching here, I know. Just trying not to. I'm surprised this isn't dumping all over the floor. This doesn't seem normal. Should be a huge, messy. Sweet. So right now I don't have the circulator pump plugged in. So what I'll do now, put this brass piece back in. And then hang this. This is my fancy setup here for, let's see here, let's put this back on the overflow here. Oh, there you go. Then this piece of wire just holds it. Yeah, see? And then what I do is this is actually the power for everything. So if I plug this in, I think we're gonna have, let's see here once. Yep, so we'll do is let this thing warm up for a little bit and then turn the heat up. Then so what I like to do is get this 40 gallons kind of hot, and then I turn the circulator on so you actually have hot water going through the whole system. There's two loops down here that where the water goes in, so you can kind of adjust. You can turn the valves off a little bit if you want, but that one's it's leaking a little bit. It's got some green around there. Maybe that's where some of my leaks are going to, and I put a bunch of little mouse traps and whatnot down. This is a nice little corner where I'm sure they're able to find a place to live there, so I like to keep the mice in bay in the shop here. So anyway, so that's the heating system, and we will cross our fingers and hope that it's working properly again this year, and get some heat in the garage so maybe we can do some more projects. Thanks a lot. Oh, so close. Get to that video? Your finger's right here.
First he wants to see, try again.
Right. Quiet down, we're going to take a video. Ready? Hike! Oh, we'll do one more.
We're doing one more!
Hike! I don't think this is getting any better. He lost his shoe. He lost his shoe, and why don't you put your shoe back on? Go put your shoe on. Oh my lord! This practice makes perfect. Is your shoe tied this time? Those are nice gloves you got too.
In a minute. Hey dude.
Fourth time's the charm.
I dropped like a charm.
Yeah, it should have been. Except he lost his shoe and just about fell over.
Wait.
Hike! Oh, that was a bad throw. That was a bad throw.
He sucks at catching. He sucks at...
You suck at catch.
I suck at throwing.
You suck at catch.
Alright, this is the last one. Ready? Is your shoes untied? Do you want to tie it before you go, or are you just going to lose it along the way?
I did. Try for me.
Oh, my Lord. Do him dancing for a while.
I really like you. Look at my shaky butt. Look at this.
Hut, hut, hut!
For the first time in forever.
First time in forever.
Gotta have the flossing. Oh. No shoes, no underwear, no brains. And that's the last game.